So you want to learn how to write better prompts for Suno AI, especially for instrumental tracks like funk, lo-fi, or synthwave. You're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to make Suno generate music that actually sounds like what you imagine with little to no wasted time. And if you've ever been stuck thinking, I don't know what to write, I'm going to give you a prompt formula that you can start working with and show you how to use ChatGPT to come up with fire prompts fast. Before we jump in this video, myself, I assume that you have already set up a free account with Suno. If you haven't, you need to pause this video, sign up, and come right back. Let's talk real quick about what a prompt is. A prompt is what you type to tell Suno what kind of song to make. Now, you only get 400 characters, so every word matters. The right prompt gives you something awesome. The wrong prompt gives you something not so awesome. So here's an example of a vague prompt. Make a funky beat. Well, Suno is going to give you something weird. But a strong prompt is going to be something like 80s funk instrumental, slap bass, Lend drums, synth stabs, like early Prince. Let's talk about that. Now, I just mentioned the name Prince, and here's the problem. Suno's not going to allow you to have an artist name, a known artist. They're not going to let you have that name in the prompt, okay? So we need other ways to reference that. For instance, so here's the 3-part prompt formula. Genre, the mood or setting, instrumentation, and artist reference. So artist reference for Prince, I might type in funk, Minneapolis funk, or 80s funk, right? But I might specifically say Minneapolis funk because it is so iconic. Or let's say jazz funk groove, bouncy and retro, slap bass and Rhodes like Jamiroquai. Well, I could not use the name Jamiroquai, but what I could use are things like jazz funk groove with a bouncy retro feel, slap bass, Rhodes, vintage, tight live drums and wah guitar, upbeat and syncopated like late 90s acid jazz and funk fusion, danceable, energetic, and smooth. So with that, let's just kind of dive into where we would place these prompts. Okay, just to recap that, we want to describe the style without using names. Okay, or we want to use era or genre adjectives, or metaphorical. We can use metaphorical style tags, but I think those first are going to get us the best results. So from the home page, we're going to go to create. We have simple or custom, which gives us more details. We're not going to worry about this right now. We're going to stay simple. You can do something like hit the dice and just have it spit out something. That's the lazy part that I think is, a lot of folks have a problem with. So we are not going to do that. Okay. We have to use, figurative, literal, and descriptive language. Okay, so I'm going to type in jazz funk groove with a bouncy retro feel. Can't spell. And instead of typing, copying and pasting, I want to type it out so you can kind of see it. It's different than, copying and pasting it. Slap bass, vintage Rhodes, because we have to start thinking a little bit more. Tight, live drums, and wah. guitar. Upbeat and syncopated like late 90s acid jazz and funk fusion. Let's go in and add that last part. Danceable, energetic, and smooth. Okay, there we go. That's our prompt. Okay? And as simple as that, you're going to click on create, and it's going to create 2 versions of this idea. Now, yes, right now we're at the mercy of whatever the AI does, and that's cool because, just like this playlist suggests, in another video, this is where I've been playing around. This, where it says Demons 100, and, that's a song of mine that I uploaded and then I had Suno remix. That's beyond the scope of this video, so I just want to let you know that there's a lot more that can be done. But while we're here now, let's go in and take a listen. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did that I didn't mean to do. I forgot to specify that I wanted an instrumental, so it wrote lyrics. All right? And shoot, while we're here, let's see what it has to say. Can we get there? I mean, come on. That's pretty dope, right? We can remix this and, edit. We can get stems if you have the pro version. But again, we're not going to worry about that. I just want you to really see how taking that simple formula garnered these results. Let's listen to the other version. Oh my goodness. This is awesome. This is awesome. Now, this is just a 3-part. This is just a 3-part prompt. Right? It's just a 3-part prompt where we have our genre, our mood or vibe, and then the artist reference. But again, we can't use the artist's name. So genre, mood and setting, instrument, or artist reference. And then we have to use that descriptive language so that we aren't using an artist name. Let's talk about some real quick before we wrap up. What to avoid. So again, don't waste space saying things like please or can you make me a song. You don't have to say instrumental. There's this option over here for you to just click instrumental, right? You're not trying to write a movie scene. You're going to focus on the sound and not the story. A bad example of a bad prompt might be make a cool instrumental that sounds like something you'd hear in the 80s. That's a bad prompt. All right. It's not specific enough. A better prompt would be 1980s synthwave instrumental, driving bass, analog synths, big drums. Now, John Carpenter might be, and Kavinsky might be references, right? But you won't necessarily be able to use those names. So then what do? Let's come here and say I have a prompt that references John Carpenter meets Kavinsky, but I can't use these names in Suno. How can I fix? Because I don't know, me personally, I don't have the descriptive language to do this. So to describe these artists is what I mean. So how can I fix without using artist names? So there we go. Now, I didn't put the first part of the prompt in there, but I like to use ChatGPT like a thought partner, like the ultimate thought partner. And for some people, that may seem, elementary, but for a lot of people, just getting into the world of AI, we don't know. So, that's why we're here. So use it like a thought partner and talk to it like a thought partner. It's totally cool. All right. So now you understand how to write better prompts in Suno AI, even if you don't have ideas to start with. You can use that 3-part formula, get help from ChatGPT, and then test what works. Suno or any other AI is really only as good as what you feed it. All right. So drop me a comment, like the video if you like it, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss another video. I will catch you in the next one.